We've been traveling for some time now. Must have been about a week since we left Makerford on our new quest with the Cloudrunner captain. Captain Abdallah Aran is a little closed off from the rest of the group. I think he might have wanted soldiers and not a gaggle of adventurers. It's weird how he didn't just bring other Cloudrunners with him if that is the case. He's also been really secretive on what we're doing. All we know is that we're delivering a message to a noble in Narblin. We don't know what the message is for, and I am foggy on who we're supposed to give it to at the moment. Whatever the case is, it sounds important. I just wish he was able to answer a few more of our questions instead of saying, "It's classified" all the time. At any rate, my horse, Comet, and I are finally hitting it off. Turns out, he was on a strict diet because he likes to eat. Honestly, me too. I don't understand why anyone would want to diet. So I've been sneaking him scraps from our meals and a few carrots and apples on our way. Nothing too extreme, and no more beans. I learned that feeding a horse beans can be a very stinky situation. We talk a lot. It's fun. I didn't know that I knew how to ride a horse before, and it's actually really comfortable. I feel like I've been doing it my whole life. I might have, actually. I didn't write this down before because I was exhausted the first day of travel, but I remembered something about my past. Don't worry, it's good this time, not some evil, weird language or whatever. I remembered a pony that I think I rode all the time. Her name was Sweet Pea. I loved Sweet Pea. Honestly, it made me a little sad remembering her. I wonder if she's still alive. I hope she is, and that she's well. I'd love to be able to talk with her. It was bittersweet remembering her. I'm glad I wrote it down here so I won't forget again. Everyone else seems to be getting along with their horses as well. Well, except for Wendy. I think the horses know that she's a witch. They're all scared of her. I even tried to get Comet to come up to her by giving her an apple to feed him with. It didn't work. Wendy says she's fine with it. I hope she isn't just saying that, though. Calypso and I have been translating for the horses to their riders. It's been fun seeing another person being able to speak to animals. I'm glad I'm not the only one anymore. We both have shared glances over what the horses have said to each other, laughing a little at their horse logic. Of course, the animals are intelligent and very regal in their own nature. It's just funny when they have an organized pooping schedule as they're on the road. Even funnier when one slowly trots to the back of the group and only Calypso and I know why. Maximilian, Danielle's horse, keeps them all in line. He's another no-nonsense type in the group right now, aside from Captain Aran and his horse called Titan. Max, he doesn't like that nickname, seemed very bossy and rude at first. But I think he and Danielle get along. Danielle likes to braid his hair while we're on the road, and occasionally she'll put little ribbons in his hair. He hasn't said anything about them, but I think he likes the pampering. And boy does Danielle love to pamper her horse, just as much as I like sneaking food to mine. Aside from the horses, I've been super relaxed this trip. I didn't notice how on edge I was while we were in the city. Felt like I couldn't breathe there, even when I was testing not having the mask on all the time. I kept watching people and hoping they weren't glaring or plotting something. Out here on the road, it's been fantastic. I still keep my mask on whenever I talk to the captain. but I've been able to let loose a little, go on morning walks, even take my cloak off to cool down a little bit, all without worry that someone is going to see me and call me a monster. It's been great. I'm trying to get in all the freedom of travel now before we start going into the cities of Narblin. Since I've lived there, I know that people aren't really receptive to who I am. They fear magic and people that look different. Oh, speaking of which, I should probably warn the others about that. Especially Calypso. Koyu might be able to make it by with his purple vein scars not drawing too much attention, but Calypso... well, she's completely blue. I know she said that she doesn't care about what other people think of her, and I'm all for that, but I don't want her to get hurt, or run out of talents like I have. Wendy is from here, only more up north in Kundad. And Danielle should be able to blend in just fine so long as she keeps her spellcasting to a minimum. Which just leaves me. I don't think the mask is going to work. Honestly, I made the mask and my whole cloak and costume to scare people away from my forest. It's much scarier to run into an unholy masked monster than run into a weird-looking man. I didn't want to be connected to the town because I knew that they would only fear me, and by extent, hurt me. And in the words of one of my friends of the forest, humans don't hunt when they let fear overtake them. So that's what I've been trying to do. Make them fear me so much that they simply leave me be. Then no one gets hurt. That won't work going into towns with my group. Maybe I shouldn't go with them and just wait outside the villages. But I'll have to worry about that later. For now, there are trees to be climbed and unknown paths to follow. I just want to enjoy nature while we have it. My moth family has been enjoying it as well. While they liked the city with all their pretty lights and distractions, they said that it was nice to see the stars again. It makes me happy too, seeing them flit around and look up at the sky. Some of them still speak to their mothers and fathers that have passed on. I join them some nights and speak to Moth Mom as well. I hope the stars are keeping her company. A lot of my moth friends I brought with me are getting old now. Soon I'll have to say goodbye to them too, and take care of the eggs they leave behind. I'll probably have to get new pants when we get into a town, and let their kids have what's left of my tattered trousers. I'll probably be able to keep the shirt though. Just have to cut off a few sections and keep them somewhere safe and warm. I'll talk to the females though and see if I can persuade them to keep to a small section of clothes. I do like this shirt. It's comfy. Honestly, I'm glad that they're out here and not in danger of being taken by the sickness in my home. I'm hesitant to bring them back at all when it comes to it. Perhaps I'd be able to let them live in the city once I feel powerful enough to take on the sickness. It might take years, but I'd make sure it was wiped out completely before coming back to get generations and generations of moths. Then we'd all travel back together like one big happy family. But then again, I already feel bad that this next generation of larvae will probably not be born in their homeland. I know it's probably a silly human thing to be worried about, but I can't help but worry about it. Best not to let the moths know my stress, though. They're already worried about mating season. Well, I'm tired, and I have another long day of travel to get to tomorrow. Best to rest and not trouble myself on what might come. If we're lucky, the Cloud Runner will have hired us for an easy job, and it will be smooth sailing to Narblin and smooth sailing back. I mean, it's already been a week and nothing bad has happened besides a few farting horses. I think we'll be fine. Good night.